If there's one thing Putin knows how to do, it's producing fighters. The Russian Union of MMA has produced some of the best fighters to ever come out into the octagon. Even though the UFC is mainly focused in America, the top fighters in the last couple of years always seem to be worldwide. There are a few countries that just seem to produce more top fighters than others. These are countries like Britain, Canada, and of course the one we'll be talking about today, Russia. Hello and welcome to another video. Today we'll be going over some of the Russian czars or kings of the UFC. We'll be covering Khamzat, Khabib, Makhachec, and others, as well as going over why Russia can produce so many great fighters in the first place. Before we continue, if you like these types of videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Saved by the Bell, as we release new MMA related content regularly, and that way you'll never miss another video. With that said, let's get inside the cage and 3, 2, 1, fight! What makes Russians so tough? Russian fighters have been making it to the top of the UFC one after the other, and their fighting style is mostly pretty similar, yet still effective. Most Russian fighters all follow one fighting formula, and they're all amazing at it. First off, they're great at Sambo. This fighting style is extremely popular in Russia, as it's the country's traditional martial art. Russians are usually great at Sambo, while also having a boxing or kickboxing background for the striking part of the match. This may not lead to the flashiest highlight reels, such as someone who specializes in Taekwondo or Karate might have, but it's sure as hell effective. Khabib is a perfect example of this. When he beat Conor McGregor, McGregor was one of the flashiest fighters at the time. His personality was reflective of his fighting style. Khabib, on the other hand, trash talks like he fights. Simple, but effective. The same goes for most of the other fighters that come from cold Russia. Other factors also play a role in the Russians' toughness. One such factor could be that sports and martial arts are extremely supported in the country. In the US and in most other countries, training is expensive, while in Russia, there are scholarships and other ways to train for basically no money to improve the country's sports results. That's why in world competitions, when they play the anthem of each winner's country, you can learn Russia's anthem all the way through. They win just about everything. Another factor is, believe it or not, the cold environment. When you live in such a situation, it does toughen you up quite a lot. Not to mention that Putin favors and supports martial arts and fighting sports of all kinds, as this makes for better soldiers. And when you're one of the strongest countries out there, you simply need manpower. There's no way around it. Now, there could be countless other reasons why Russians are generally pretty tough, but we could speculate all day. Instead, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video and talk about the insane fighters that have come out recently. Starting off with Khamzat Boris Chimaev. Boris literally means wolf, but for him, you could argue that he might need a taller animal as a nickname. Khamzat is a former freestyle wrestler currently competing in the welterweight division of the UFC. As a wrestler, he was a 3-time Swedish national champion. The thing with him is that he's Russian-born but grew up in Sweden. He completely embraces his inner Russian though, and uses his country's fighting style to its fullest. Ever since he started his professional MMA career, he has been undefeated, and that's not something every fighter can say about themselves. In the UFC, he has had 4 official matches, and out of these 4 matches, he has only been hit twice. The guy literally has had more matches than times he's been hit. He's looking to get to the top, as he has already started targeting Kamaru Usman's championship and has spoken about how he is going to be the champion. And with a couple more wins, he might actually get there. Khamzat is one of these guys that instantly gets recognized. In his first fight against Li Jingliang, Chimaev literally lifted his opponent and dragged him to the side of the cage from where Dana White was watching and started talking to him, saying, "You see this, Dana? Look. There's just no getting around it. When you have a fighter this crazy, he's going to be recognized." Khabib Nurmagomedovs. Now, even though Khabib is not currently fighting for the UFC, or anywhere for that matter, you can't deny that that's where he got his name, to be one of the most recognized names in MMA history. Many regard him as one of the best mixed martial artists in history, and for good reason. Not only did he defeat Conor McGregor, but everyone else in his path as well. Khabib's record was 29 wins with 0 losses before his official retirement. Currently, he runs his own fight promotion company called Eagle FC. If you'd like to know more about this, we have a whole video on Eagle FC, which will be linked in the description below. All in all, Khabib is definitely one of the Russians who made the biggest impact on the UFC. Petr Yan. Petr Yan is a former UFC bantamweight champion and is currently the #1 contender for the championship, as well as #9 on the UFC's pound-for-pound rankings. Petr had also fought an absolute championship Burkett, where he was the ACB champion. Being the champion everywhere he goes, he's earned himself the reputation of being one of the best fighters out there. He's got good grappling, good striking, and one that's often overlooked is his cardio. Most fights end because one of the fighters gets gassed, but this guy can seemingly go on forever, and that's a huge reason for his success. Islam Makhachev. Now a name we can't go without mentioning is Islam Makhachev. Now not only is he ripped, but he's also an incredible fighter, specializing in Sambo. He's currently the #3 ranked in the UFC's lightweight division, where Khabib used to be champion. He started his professional MMA career fighting for M1 Global, where he only lasted 3 years before the UFC recognized his talent and decided to recruit him to their ranks. His current record is 22 wins and only a single loss. Being best friends with arguably the world's greatest fighter surely rubs off on him, and that makes him yet another Russian aiming for the top. What can we expect for the future? As you can see, there are plenty of top-tier fighters who all came from the same place, and they all seem as motivated as possible. But what can we expect out of these fighters now that the world of MMA is changing so rapidly? Well, for Khabib Nurmagomedovs, it's pretty obvious. Now that he's retired, he'll be focusing on growing his new company, Eagle FC, and having that be the new mountain that he'll climb. He's a motivated guy who only aims for the top, and if his promotion game is as good as his fighting, he might even overtake the UFC. As for his buddy, Islam Makhachev, we can only assume that the reason he's still not with Khabib is that, as of this moment, his position in the UFC is still favorable. Many people believe that his goal is to become the lightweight champion first, and then retire, just like Khabib did. Petr Yan is already scheduled to get another shot at the bantamweight title against Aljamain Sterling, and these two will be going at it on April 9th, 2022, so stay alert for that. And last but not least, let's talk a little bit more about Khamzat. Khamzat Chimaev is scheduled to fight Gilbert Burns again on the 9th of April. Chimaev has dominated in each of his fights up until this point, but none of his previous opponents have been at Gilbert Burns' level. Burns is currently #2 in the welterweight division and is an excellent mixed martial artist. Chimaev has made it clear that his target is Usman, but we'll see how he deals with the challenges he has to face to get there, and Burns is definitely not an easy one. Oops, guess you were saved by the bell yet again. So there you have it, fight fans, a quick evaluation of the Russian CZARZ of the UFC. If you like this video, make sure to Superman punch that like button, as well as to subscribe to our channel as we release new MMA related content on a regular basis. And last but not least, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about the greatest Russian fighters and why you think Russians in general are so tough. With that being said, we'll be taking our leave. So as always, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.